Thinking about starting a business in Tennessee? Well, one wrong form or missed detail could cost you your LLC and your peace of mind. Figuring it all out alone can feel like you're reading a foreign language, and the internet, it doesn't exactly make it easier. So in this video, I will walk you through the entire process of forming an LLC in Tennessee, step by step, so that you can skip the confusion and start your business the right way. And one thing to know is that if you're planning to use your home address for your LLC, you'll definitely want to hear what I have to say in a few minutes because, without realizing it, you may actually expose your home address to the entire public. So why is Tennessee a great place to consider starting your LLC? Well, starting off, Tennessee has no state income tax on personal wages, so you get to keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket right from day one. And here's something that kind of gets overlooked too. So the state actively wants businesses to succeed. There are incentives and grants for companies creating jobs or investing locally. So whether you're opening a food truck or launching a tech startup, there's help waiting for you. And the paperwork isn't intimidating either, right? So Tennessee, they keep the process pretty clear and quick, which means that you won't get stuck spinning your wheels, trying to figure out what goes where. All right, so that's all well and good, right? But you need to get started in the process, which means picking the right business name. And that's what we're gonna go ahead and tackle here next, so stick around. But I do wanna say, before we jump in too deep here into everything, here's one thing to keep in mind. Starting your business, it should be exciting and not overwhelming. But forming an LLC on your own, that can get pretty confusing fast, right? With all the legal forms, rules, and easy to miss details. Now, I will walk you through everything in this video, but if any part of this feels confusing, I've got a favorite LLC formation service that makes the whole process super simple and stress-free. It's guided, beginner-friendly, and it only costs 39 bucks. So if you hit any bumps along the way in the video, just go ahead and click right up here to get step-by-step help setting up your LLC the easy way. So here's something most folks don't expect. Your LLC's name isn't just about creativity. It's about getting past Tennessee's rules without a hiccup. Before printing, business cards or snagging that Instagram handle, you need to be sure that your name stands out for all the right reasons. So start with the basics. So Tennessee law says that your LLC's name must include a legal ending like LLC, LLC, or limited liability company. Even LTD, liability co, those work too. Now, most people just stick with LLC, but whatever you choose, make sure it shows up exactly as required. Uniqueness is non-negotiable. Now, your business name, it has to be clearly different from any other registered business in Tennessee. So swapping, one letter or using funky spelling doesn't really cut it. So take some time to run a quick search with the Tennessee Business Name Search tool, which is linked to below, along with, by the way, every other resource included in this video, to see if your idea is taken by another business. And here's actually a little known snag. So Tennessee blocks certain words outright. So you can't use anything that sounds kind of like you're a bank or insurance company or government entity or a licensed professional like, doctor or engineer, unless you actually qualify. And also, don't even think about putting corporation or incorporated anywhere in your LLC name either. Now, next, I'll show you how a registered agent can help make the paperwork for creating your LLC a complete breeze while also helping you keep your privacy. So what is a registered agent? Well, here's the short answer. So Tennessee law requires that every LLC has to have a registered agent, which is someone who receives important legal papers, official notices, and government documents for your business. Now, technically, you can be your own registered agent if you're over 18 and have a physical address in the state, so no PO boxes. But that's often, more hassle than it's worth. So you need to be available during regular business hours at all times. Your home address would also be posted publicly, and then, you get a ton of junk mail, plus your privacy is taking a big hit. Now, if you travel, work odd hours, or work from home and don't want your address exposed, this can be a risky move. And this is one of the big reasons why I personally recommend a professional service. Now, myself, my preferred provider is Northwest Registered Agent. I've used it myself, and they're really known for their strong privacy protections, excellent customer support, and straightforward pricing. Now, if you hire them to help form your LLC, the cost is only $39. And one of the best perks of using them is that you can use their business address on your public filings, which helps keep your personal address private and cuts down on junk mail. Now, if you want to check them out, you can go ahead and click right up here to learn more about them. But choosing a registered agent wisely, it can save you stress and keep your business compliant. So moving on, ready to make your LLC official? Well, the next move is filing those articles of organization, and I'll walk you through the whole process step by step here. So this is the moment when your LLC in Tennessee goes from idea to an official business. Filing your articles of organization is what makes things real. And thankfully, the process is actually pretty simple. You'll do this through the Tennessee Secretary of State's online system, but mailing in the form here works too if you want. So here's a rundown. So you'll fill out a form with your LLC's name, business address, registered agent info, and then a few details about management and who's actually organizing the LLC. Now, Tennessee doesn't ask for complicated extras, just the key facts about your business. The fee for filing is $300 for most LLCs, which covers up to 6 members. And if you've got a big team or bigger team, it's $50 per member after that. But no one pays more than $3,000 to file. Now, you can pay online for quick processing or by check if you prefer snail mail. And now that paperwork is out of the way, don't overlook the next step, which is the operating agreement. Now, this is optional in Tennessee, but it can save you a lot of headaches if business ever gets messy. So stick around here and I'll show you why that is. So again, a written operating agreement, it isn't required for most Tennessee LLCs, but skipping it really is a risky move that you'll want to avoid, especially if you're running an LLC with friends or partners or family. So think of this as your LLC's playbook, right? It spells out who owns what, how decisions get made, and what's supposed to happen if there's ever, like a major disagreement or a shakeup in membership. Even if you're a solo business owner, right, an operating agreement, it still strengthens your liability protection and can be the document that helps you open a business bank account, prove to lenders that you're legit, and keep the IRS happy. And it's also customizable, so you build in rules for big stuff like profit sharing, dispute resolution, or adding new owners, all tailored for your business and not just what the state says by default. Now, miss this step and you risk problems down the road, like losing limited liability in court or having state laws take over when things get messy. Now, if you want to keep control and avoid drama, just spend a few minutes creating a written document using AI or just find an online template. There's plenty out there. Now, once that's been buttoned up, the next must-have for your LLC is a federal EIN. And this is the number that really unlocks business banking and hiring. So stick around here. I'll show you how easy it is to get this one. So how do you get the official stamp from the IRS to say you're good to go? Right? Well, in Tennessee, it's your EIN or your employer identification number from the IRS, and it's free and it takes about 15 minutes online. So just hop on the IRS website, you get to answer a few quick questions, and then instantly download your EIN. There's no paperwork, no waiting by the mailbox either. Now, you'll need this number to open a business bank account, file federal taxes, and even hire employees, even if you're a solo LLC. And pro tip, doing this early makes future banking and credit so much easier, and you avoid mixing your personal and business finances, which is always a good idea. All right, so you got your EIN locked down. Well, next, I'll show you how to keep your LLC in good standing with the state year after year with a few compliance moves that every Tennessee business owner should know. Now, the big must-do for compliance in Tennessee is filing an annual report with the Tennessee Secretary of State. And this keeps your business info up to date and confirms that your registered agent details are correct. Now, the report is due by April 1st of each year, and the base filing fee is $300 for up to 6 members, with $50 for each extra member, max $3,000, like I said earlier. Now, skip this and your LLC could get dissolved, so it's one deadline that you really don't want to miss. But there's also another twist. So most Tennessee LLCs are also responsible for franchise and excise taxes. Franchise tax is 0.25% of your company's net worth or total assets with a minimum of $100. And the excise tax clocks in at 6.5% of your LLC's net earnings, though there are exemptions for some family-owned and certain rental businesses. And don't forget to renew your local business licenses and check for special industry permits each year as well. These are important to keep active too. But keeping your business compliant, it isn't just paperwork, right? It's the shield that keeps your LLC in good standing and keeps you out of trouble. So up next, I'll break down exactly what this means for your wallet with startup and ongoing costs for a Tennessee LLC. All right, so let's break down in real numbers and plain English startup costs first. So first, we have articles of organization. This is required $300, and that covers up to 6 members, $50 more for each additional member, capped at $3,000. Then registered agent service. Now again, optional, but highly recommended, Northwest registered agent. That includes a registered agent service and formation package, which is $39 for the first year. Then we have the business licenses, right? And those are sometimes required, depends on your business. Most cities charge fees starting at $15 and up, depending on your industry. So overall, you can expect to spend approximately $350 to $650 when launching, depending on how many extras you actually add and what licenses you really need. So now let's talk about the ongoing costs. So there's an annual report fee of $300 minimum, plus $50 per member over 6. Then the registered agent renewal, $125 per year if you use Northwest Registered Agent to stay in compliance. And the franchise tax, minimum of $100 or 0.25% of assets. Excise tax, 6.5% of net earnings for most LLCs. Then the business license renewal, that varies, but budget at least $15 per year for that. So for most LLCs, You can keep around $400 to $600 in reserve annually, plus taxes and permits to expect those types of payments. Now, again, to help with all this, I do advise you to use a service like Northwest Registered Agent, which again, you can click right up here to check out, as they'll really help you stay in compliance year after year while you focus on the most important thing, which is running a profitable business. Now, if you have any questions for me or are a little bit confused about the process, no problem, just drop me a comment below, and I will do my absolute best to help you out as soon as possible. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.